Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today on Facebook Live. Today we are going to be talking all about the new stay-at-home order. I'm Ashton Day, a health educator here at the Health Department. With me today we have Michelle Scheichels, who's the Public Health Promotion Supervisor, and our interpreter Shelby as well. I know this order just came out this morning. You all have lots of questions. We will do our best to answer those, so just feel free to comment. We'll get to those. But first, we're going to really just break down this order because a lot of people probably haven't had time to read it yet. So just to start, Michelle, why was this stay-at-home order put into place?
Yeah, the order was put into place to protect the health and safety of all community residents, particularly those residents who are most vulnerable. The goal of this order is to limit community spread by keeping as many people home as possible.
Yeah, and so when does this order start? When does it go into effect?
This order will go into effect tomorrow, March 25th at 8 a.m.
And how long can we expect it to be in place?
This order will be in place for 30 days unless it is amended in any way or extended.
And just so you all know, too, if you see us looking down at this, we have the order in front of us just to make sure we are giving you the most accurate information. And so we're going to go through the steps of the order. So a big question for a lot of people is this order mandatory or, how is it going to be enforced?
Yes, this order is mandatory, and we're really relying on voluntary compliance to this order. So we're relying on the goodwill of community residents for this order to be enforced. If we see the need for some education, if we see individuals or businesses not complying with this order, we will be providing education. And as an absolute last resort, there are penalties that can be put into place.
Yeah. So let's go through the good things. What can we do under this order?
Yeah, so there are things that we can do under this order. We can spend time with people within our households. We can use our technology to connect with people. We can go outside in our yard, take a walk around the neighborhood. We can enjoy our beautiful city trails that we have here while keeping that 6 feet social distance. So there are things that we can do.
Right. A lot of people are wondering what is considered an essential business. And I know we have a list here. We're going to go through these with you. But I think it's important to note that if your business does not fall in the industries listed on the order, you are welcome to email us at coronavirus@como.gov and just explain to us why you feel your business is essential, and we can get back to you on specifics of how you can operate during the stay-at-home order.
Yes, so just to go through what the essential business categories are, we have healthcare, food production and distribution, so that includes grocery stores, markets, restaurants for carry-out, delivery, and pickup only, sanitation, so laundromats, dry cleaners, transportation, so that includes our public transit as well as rideshare services, financial services, including banks, manufacturing and distribution of supplies and materials for essential businesses, maintenance and construction of infrastructure and households, childcare, essential government functions, residential facilities, including hotels, media communications, and mailing and shipping.
Yeah. And so we've been talking a lot about this and how to explain to people what's considered essential and not. And I think it's good to think of it as like 3 tiers. You have your essential, then you have the people who are supporting those essential businesses, and then you have what's considered not essential. And we are working to create more information for everyone, really listing out what all those are. And so, like we just said, what about businesses and organizations that provide services for essential activity? They can still stay open.
Yes, absolutely. So if your business provides services to a business that provides an essential function, so for example, if you produce equipment that is used by a hospital, you can stay open.
Yeah. And so what do people do if their business does not fall under a category as essential? And can they still stay open if they're taking certain precautions?
So if your business does not fall under an essential business, you can conduct business from home. So if your employees are able to, they can continue working from their place of residence, and that's the extent to which those businesses can operate. They can also continue to operate payroll and minimal functions, but their storefronts cannot stay open.
Okay. So, a lot of people wonder too, do I go to work tomorrow? What do I do from here?
Yeah, so that's a good question. And it depends on a lot of factors. So if you work for an essential business, yes, you do go to work tomorrow. If you work for an essential business that has decided to have their employees work from home, then you work from home. If you work for a non-essential business that has the ability to work from home, then you work from home. And if you work for a non-essential business that cannot have their employees work from home, then you do not go to work tomorrow.
All right. So a lot of people are asking this in our comments as well, but what happens if I work in a different county that is not implementing the same type of order?
So if you work for a business in a different county that provides essential services, you can continue to go to work. If you work for a business in another county that does not provide essential services, we encourage you to use social distancing practices.
Yeah. So we'll go through the list of some examples of people asking. The responses to, and that's what's listed out in the order, are general industries, and we just want people to keep that in mind. And again, if you have questions about your specific business or your employer, feel free to reach out and we can give you more guidance on what to do next. But our personal services, such as nail salons, hair salons, and tanning facilities, classified as essential.
So no, these businesses are not classified as essential services.
And then what about gyms and workout facilities?
Again, these businesses are not classified as essential services.
And another good point people are making on the live is, what about landscaping companies? We're going into spring, all this rain. We're going to be needing to perform some of those landscaping.
Yes, so if they fall under basic sanitation for our outdoors, they can continue.
Yeah, so keeping that 6 feet apart, not transferring money, that sort of thing. And again, if you are one of those landscaping businesses, you can reach out to us directly and we can give you more guidance on that. So we talked about, essential activities. If you want to just go over again what is included on what can you do during this stay-at-home order.
Yeah, so things that you can do, you can see your healthcare provider. If you are experiencing cold and flu symptoms, we are asking that you call your healthcare provider before you go. You can go to the grocery store. You can go to restaurants to pick up food and take home. You can go to the laundromat, go to a bank, anything like that.
Yeah. And we've had specific questions about sports and playing outdoors. What can you do for that sort of situation?
Yeah, so you can go outside and play catch. You can kick the soccer ball back and forth. Things that you can't do are like play one-on-one basketball where we would be really close.
Yeah. And another thing too, with gyms being closed, can my personal trainer come to my house and help me work out that way?
No, because this would require the personal trainer to travel for non-essential business.
Okay. Yeah. Well, just checking on this. A good point that someone just made that I'm not sure that I have talked about is people are moving in April. It's towards the end of the month. Will this be allowed, or who should they contact about moving?
Moving like outside of the city?
Well, either way, probably. Just like moving apartments or houses.
We can
that might
back
be
some on
something,
that,
yeah.
but I would assume that would be fine under our guidelines.
Yes, we will reach out to those people individually. If you are planning on moving in the next week or two, let us know and we'll figure that out for you.
Yes.
So you've mentioned it before, but we'll just explicitly say it again. What about Uber and rideshare services and taxi services? What should people do?
Yes, so all transportation, including Uber, taxi, Lyft, they are allowed to access essential services.
Yeah, And then we've had a lot of people question or worry about, do they need some sort of identification saying that they are going to an essential business or work for an essential business?
No, we are not requiring identification for that.
Yeah. All right. And then, so am I allowed to go visit a loved one or hang out with a friend?
So we're really trying to distance ourselves from others. So unless it's to provide care for that loved one, so if it's providing care for somebody, then absolutely you can do that, but practice social distancing as much as you can while you're providing care for that individual. But if it's just to visit a friend, no, that's not allowed. Instead, use FaceTime or video chat or call them on the phone.
Yeah. We've also had several questions involving construction activity and how that is classified under this order.
So ongoing construction can continue.
Okay. And, sorry, I'm just going through all these. What are the guidelines for hotels and motels under this order?
So hotels and motels are considered an essential business. We realize that many employees that are essential employees are using these facilities. For example, we may have a healthcare provider that comes in from another area who needs to stay in a hotel so they can provide service.
Yeah. And then let's get into childcare providers. I
Yeah.
know we are still kind of trying to navigate this order too. So what do you know about what childcare providers can do?
Yeah, so child care providers are an essential business. They can provide service to the extent that they are providing services for employees of essential businesses. So what that means is if you work at an essential business, you can continue to use a child care provider.
Awesome. All right, that pretty much goes through the general questions that
Okay.
we've had about the order. I'm going to go through the ones in the comments, and some of these might be ones we've already answered, but we'll just go again and make sure that everyone's
Absolutely.
heard the information. So again, will lawn and landscaping companies be allowed to work as long as they don't have contact with customers?
Yeah, and they're not sharing equipment.
Right.
Yeah.
And so how does this affect people who work in different counties?
So if you work in a different county and you work for an essential service, you can continue to do that. If you work in a different county for a non-essential services, we are encouraging you to use social distancing practices. So make sure that you're washing your hands, using hand sanitizer, covering your mouth when you cough and sneeze, and keeping that 6-foot distance between you and others.
This one's a little bit more of a health question. I heard the growth of cases in Boone County cited as the reason for this order, but how much is the growth of cases a result of testing for spread of COVID-19?
So we are fortunate here in Boone County that we have multiple points of access for testing, and so that does make our numbers look a little higher than some other areas where they don't necessarily have the access to testing. But it gives us a more accurate picture of what's going on in our community, and because we have that more accurate picture, we were able to make the decision that this was a necessity.
Yeah. Could a department or retail store stay closed and allow management staff or owners to fulfill orders by mail while maintaining social distance from one another?
So let me make sure I answer this correctly. You can continue to operate mailing. They would have to maintain social distances. They can continue to, let me see where it's worded in here. They can continue some functions if they are not an essential business. And those functions include maintaining the value of inventory and infrastructure to provide security, process payroll or employee benefits, and facilitate employees working remotely.
Okay. And again, if you work for or own a company like
contact
that,
us directly and we'll talk with you about what exactly is being done in that business and whether it falls under those guidelines. But we are allowing businesses to ship products and to meet their clients' needs that way.
yeah. And just to reiterate, this order goes into effect tomorrow, Wednesday, March 25th at 8 a.m.,
Yes.
and will go until April 24th at 8 a.m. Got to make sure my dates are right there. But it should be noted too that we will continue to evaluate the situation and notify you if anything changes during that time. This is an interesting question. Should you still go to work if you're required to by your company? If your company is saying you need to go tomorrow, should you still go?
So if you work for an essential business and your employer requires you to go, yes, you should continue to go to work. Yeah. I will say, if you work for an essential business and you fall into that high-risk category, so you're over 65 years old, you have chronic heart disease, lung disease, you may want to talk to your employer about the possibility of working from home.
And again, is any sort of documentation necessary to carry out to prove one is involved in essential business?
Yeah, no documentation is required.
And then, is it okay to just go for a drive just to get out of the house if you need to?
If you stay in your vehicle, yes.
All right.
And we encourage people to get out of the house. We realize that this is a challenging time, and we're asking a lot of our community residents. So go outside, go for a walk, just practice those social distancing practices.
Yeah. And someone mentioned too, what about driving lessons with my child? It's important to know, this kind of falls under auto sales too, but you can go on drives with people in your family, but no test drives with strangers or people you don't know that are not in your household, and no interaction there. We encourage auto sales to do whatever they can online though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And to clarify that too, I know I kind of threw that out there, but automotive dealerships and independent shops that perform repair and maintenance can remain open. It's just that sales aspect that would have to stop under the order.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, I'm pulling up questions. Thank you everyone for submitting these questions. These are great. And again, if you have any more about specific things that you need, you can email us at coronavirus@como.gov. And the full order can be found on como.gov/coronavirus. And there's a FAQ listed in the press release along with the order itself. So you can look through that as well. Does the county health department have testing available?
We do not have testing here. There are multiple testing locations. You can go to Boone Hospital, they have drive-through testing, and University Hospital has drive-through testing as well.
Should in-home deliveries be taking place during this time? For example, having appliances and other goods from home improvement stores delivered?
Yes, you can have items delivered.
Yes, we encourage you, if possible though, to do the porch pickup, not come within 6 feet of someone outside of your household.
Yes.
What about the animal shelter rescues, and are they allowed to still do adoptions?
So, let's see. Animal shelter yes.
Slash rescues, sorry.
So they're still allowed to have like adopted pets in their household. I'm not sure what they're referring to with animal shelter rescues. Do you know? There's
not more information. Just, I'm assuming, can you go to that place and adopt a pet in person, is what I'm assuming.
Oh.
Would they be open to the public?
We're going to have to get back to you. I'm not sure if our shelters are still open to the public.
Can real estate-based businesses hold open houses using the 10 people or less rule with social distancing?
Real estate businesses?
Yeah.
Hold open houses? No, that would not be considered an essential business.
We encourage to do virtual tours.
Yeah.
There's another Facebook Live opportunity for you, or video, FaceTime, you can do that. You are still able to do things, you just kind of have to think outside the box a little bit as far as how you will be doing them.
Yeah, we're going to be using our technology more than ever.
And then again, who will enforce this order?
So again, we're relying on people to be compliant. We're relying on the goodwill of our citizens to follow this. If there is a need for education, we will be providing that. And as an absolute very last resort, there are penalties that can be put in place.
This is an interesting one too. Does this extend CPS school closures?
Yes, it would.
Yes. And I'm sure CPS will be putting out more information
Yes.
shortly regarding that, and all schools across our county. Can people who don't have access to cars walk or bike through the drive-through testing sites? I'm not sure we know this answer. That would be up to the individual hospital. So I would call MU Healthcare or Boone Hospital to see what their policies are. I know we are actively trying to find solutions for people who do not have a car or transportation in that way to figure out how they can get tested. So as soon as we learn more, we will let you know. Otherwise, in the meantime, you should reach out to those facilities. What if your business is non-essential and the boss says you have to come to work anyways? Who should you contact then?
You can contact us, and we'd be happy to call the business and help them determine if they are an essential business or not.
Will post offices and mailing services such as FedEx, USPS, and others be open?
Yes, mailing services are considered an essential business.
Sorry, going through a lot. A lot of these are specific questions about specific types of businesses. So again, we recommend that you reach out to us directly with the name of the business. We can let you know a better idea if they're considered essential or not. And then that way we can also contact the business directly and have a conversation with them about how to proceed.
Absolutely.
And will my internet service provider be able to set up internet in our new house? We will
we will check on that one. I believe that would fall under your ability to maintain
a home, but we will double check and get back to you independently. I believe those are all the questions we have for now, unless anyone has some. Again, if it's specific about a certain place, you can email us at coronavirus@como.gov. You can call the Public Health Department at 573-874-7355. If you have specific health questions, you're also welcome to email or call, but there's also the state hotline, which is 877-435-8411. All right. I'm not sure. We have a few more coming in. So. Okay. Will the city council meeting on April 6th have people in the audience, or will it be live streamed?
Live stream.
Live stream. You can pretty much bet on that for any government meeting or project going on at this time. We are doing our best here at the city to transfer everything we can to online.
Yes.
We have a specific question about real estate. We just went under contract on our home. Will we be able to have our inspection to close the sale?
Yes, that would fall under maintaining a home.
Okay. See, you know way more about this than I do, which is great. I think, everyone is still learning as we do this.
And just as a reminder, even when you are doing those things, keep that social distancing, keep that 6 feet from you and your inspector when they're doing that inspection.
Yeah. I think that's it for now.
Okay.
So if you have any questions that you feel weren't answered or you think of something later, please contact us. We will continue to put out more information about what this means for you and your family, and we will continue to update on all future things. Yeah. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.